Hi, I'm Debbie Chronister. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm glad you're joining me today. You can find me at stampwithdeb.com, and I am here I'm on Facebook Live every Tuesday at 3 o'clock and Pacific Time, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. Let's get started. I have a really fun project for you today. Cottage Rose, one of my favorites, but I'm also using Textured Chic, and I love it. It is so pretty. It reminds me of Shelley, the founder of Stampin' Up. This just reminds me of her. I think I can see her loving this. So it's this paper. I think I have them flipped, so all of them you can see. This one's not. There's the back of that one. And it does have a stamp set that goes with it. Actually, it has a bundle that goes with it. That is really fun, and I know I'm going to be using it as it further into the year. But it's just the prettiest paper there. And I love it. I can see myself using this a lot. So these are my favorite sheets right here, and this one. The seashells. I like that one too. That's one of my favorites. So today we're using this one. And so, whoops, we don't need that. Okay, so I cut a piece of petal pink because it goes so beautifully with petal pink. And it's 10.5, and I'll put all these measurements and photos and the video on my blog this afternoon. I don't have to go to the store now. So this is 10.5 inches by 5.5. The original one that I was following was 6 inches, but I wanted it so it would fit in one of our standard envelopes. And so, something's not quite on screen. Okay, so I changed the height of it. And then I scored it at 3.5, 7, and didn't score this last panel. So then I have cut a piece of designer series paper to fit each of these panels, and it's only 1/8 of an inch smaller. I'm not too worried about you seeing the petal pink in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on. So the largest one is going to go right there. And then I have two this size. And these are 3 3/8 by 5 3/8. And that one I think is 4, or 3 7/8, 3 7/8 by 5 3/8. So they're all cut at 5 3/8, which makes it easy. You just cut the paper across at 5 3/8, and then you're going to cut it into the strips. Let's pull that down a little bit over here. Okay, and then this is the one for my front panel. Uh-oh. Ran into a little problem there. And I'm just using our Stampin' Seal. You could use the green glue. You could use anything that you're comfortable with using. Which green glue is the mono liquid. Okay. All right. Then I cut, and so that's how my card looks on the front. I think I should have done something different right there so that panel would look different. But it's fine. So then I stamped, let's see, I cut these. These are 6 by 1 1/4. Let's only use the right one. 6 by 1 1/4. And there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've scored these at 1 1/2, 3, and 4 1/4, which would be pretty standard. These are going to go inside on this second panel here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and attach this one. I think I'll use my green glue for this. It's a little more flexible. And I'm just going to attach that right in there. So I want it to come right up against the edge, so that it will close without hindering it, but I wanted to leave some room up here. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to fold it in half. It looks like I have a paper trimmer that needs a blade change. You see how the rough edge is there? That indicates that that paper trimmer needs a blade change. And then I'm just going to go, leaving just a small gap in between. And the same thing on the other two. And let's go up a little here. We don't want too high. Okay. I got room for my bottom one, just barely. I should have gone a little higher. This is a real close fit. So I probably should have gone a little higher at the top. But we'll go ahead and do it. It'll work. You'll get the idea. That's what I want. And so then this one's going to go right here. Yeah, I should have gone higher. So start a little higher, guys. Don't leave 1/8 of an inch there. That one I can probably peel off and move. And the second one, I can peel that one off because they were both put on with the stamp and seal. The third one, oops, that one tore my paper. The third one's where I'm going to run into my problem. Okay, we're going to leave them alone. Okay, so leave a little bit of more room. You don't need a lot of space in between these because when they fold over, they'll create their own image space, in a sense. Okay, now we're going to set this aside for right now. And I have stamped a flower, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So I started out with a 4.5 by 2 3/4, 4.5 by 2 3/4 piece of basic white. I'm not going to cut that. I'm just going to show you what I did. And then I'm going to stamp with my Tuxedo Black Memento. So I just did it. I'll do it right so that I can use it on another project. Okay, and then I came along and I used our masking paper. So I cut this out, but you know what? I wanted to give you a couple of tips. One, when you're stamping something and you're going to mask, try to cut it on the line. Try to cut it on this line or stamp it so it crosses over this line, this fold line in here. So when you stamp it, here's my image. I want to stamp it so that there's my fold line right there. This is the back, this is the front, so that it goes over that line, because that's going to make it a whole lot easier to peel. So now when I cut this out, I'm not going to take time to cut it precise, but when I cut it out, then I can just turn it over and peel this off, and it'll make it much easier to find where to peel it. So my piece of masking is right here. You can see I just cut out a quick image, and then what I did is I put this over top, leaving that black line underneath showing. So you want to put it so that that little bit of that black line underneath shows, and when I trimmed it right on the line. So I'm going to leave it so that, especially where I'm going to stamp. And then I came in with my memento and my leaf, and I just stamped right off here. So now it looks like that leaf is tucked in there behind it. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is the new masking paper that we have. It's called Stampin' Up! Masking Paper. And it works really nice. It peels off real easy, but not so easy that it falls off and you can't use it again. So anyway, I have mine already cut, stamped over here. And I stamped 2 of those. This one is for the front, and I'm going to stamp Feel Better on the front. And you can see on this one, I made a mistake. I did, right here. My leaf, can you guys see that? My leaf doesn't connect like it should, because when I stamped it, I had not cut my mask all the way out. So I will probably just put some bling there or something. This is going to go on the front of my card, so I'm going to color it. Just give it a little bit of color real quick here. I'm using Petal Pink, and my camera's shaking. I'm sorry. But I'm just going to, maybe I'll use the other end of my Petal Pink, and it won't be quite so shaky. Yeah, that's a little better. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of color in here just to highlight it. Okay, so that takes care of my flower. And then, okay, so we're just going to put a little bit of soft succulent in here. So this is going to go on the front of our card. Bring that back in. And I cut this one 1/4 of an inch smaller all the way around because I just wanted it, I wanted to show that beautiful paper in the background. Isn't that pretty? I think it's gorgeous. Okay, now for the second, for these pieces of pink that I have sticking out here, I'm going to quickly color this one as well. So this is cut at I have to think. This is going to get cut to 1 1/8 each one. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer here, and I am going to trim these. Oh, my paper trimmer is dirty. Where has he been? So 1 1/8, and I'm just going to start at the top and cut those going down. And 1/8 is not the first line, it's the second line. Let's just make sure that this one is the right size. Yep, okay. All right, and then I'm gonna cut them. They are, what, 2 3/4. So I'm gonna cut it down to, what's half of 3/4, 6/4, 3/8, 1 3/8. How'd you like that figuring out? And I hope it's right. 1 3/8. I'm pretty sure that's gonna work. I think this one's a little bit short. Okay, 1 3/8. Here we go. Hopefully this is going to work. If it doesn't work, I will put the corrected measurements on my blog. So 1 3/8. Looks good, huh? All right, 1 3/8 is right there. It's like the 6th little line over. And 1 2 3/8. All right. Okay, now let's put it together. And hopefully I can put this puzzle back together now, right? All right. So now I'm going to fold these all over this way because they are glued down in that first panel. See, there's too much space in here and not enough there, so learning. Okay, now figuring these out. I think that one's gonna go there, and this is a blank, which is okay. Blanks are okay. This one's gonna go here. Yeah, this one is a little bit small. And this one is gonna go up here. So this other picture is real handy to have because you can refer to it. Okay, so this one is in the wrong place. No. Okay, this one. Okay, something's wrong. This one has to go, okay, this one's gonna go up here. Aha. So even though my images are stamped differently, I can at least get the gist of where they're going. This one is going to go, not there, huh? Not there. This one's going to go there. This one's going to go. I should have kept them in order. Can't go that way. Has to go that way. So this one has to go that way. So if I put them back together right, our image looks right. Okay, let's get some adhesive on the back of these. And I'm going to use the Stamp and Seal just because I can remove it if I need to. And this is kind of like a tower in some ways. I know I've done it before and cut this instead of putting the strips in there. But when you cut it, then your card looks like it has an opening in the back. So that's kind of an interesting concept there. I think I would cut this, leave this paper a little bit longer just so that I have to cut it off. And then that way, because this one's a little short, as you can see. Okay, so just add this one in here. Oops, let's catch that edge. I'm not using my mat, so that's why it's not working as well right now. Whoa, that one's over too far, so that's why I used this glue. And not high enough. Okay. And then choose this one right there. And the last one. So you could do this with any image. It would be fun with different things. And there we are. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to put some glue on each of these. Just like that. Sorry about the background noise. I have a noisy husband, I believe, in the kitchen. And then I'm just going to close this up. Pressing those down and close it up. Just like that. And then that way, when I open it, look at that. Isn't that cute? So this one, there, come back and just flatten those down. Whoops, this one didn't quite go where it should have. And this one, same thing. It didn't quite go where it should have. Okay, guys, use a different glue because that did not work super good. I think I might have to do this over again and show you a different way of doing it. Because that didn't. I'm going to put some Stamp and Seal on there because this should, and they should pop open like that. That's what we want. Okay, so when you close that, don't close it the way I did. Put glue on them and lay them down flat or else they buckle. Bone folder. Because see, my edges aren't lining up straight either. I think I'm going to have to work on this card. I don't know why it didn't line up straight the way it should have. But it's still cute. I love the card. I love the idea. And I think I would put a little piece of ribbon here. Make another one. Let's cut it this time before I tie it. And then I can make a nice knot. So by pulling on my left side, it makes a nice flat knot. This ribbon's not making a really great knot for me, but it's okay. It's all right. Let's trim it up just to a small. And then I'm going to put that on with a glue dot, which is right here. And just like that, we'll cover up that funny little leaf there and just add that little bow, which adds to it. Alrighty, well, thank you for joining me today. You'll find the products for this at stampwithdeb.com, and you'll find the instructions there a little bit later. I hope you guys enjoy it, and if you create one, post it online so I can see it. I want to see them. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye-bye.